Thanks.
To many, it's a disability, but to our next guest, it's a gift. We'll meet the mother of 2 children with autism, and we'll find out how a Disney movie helped her make a breakthrough with her kids. Effervescence is the true life tale of autism and of courage. It is written by the mother of 4 children, 2 of whom have been touched by autism to different degrees, very different degrees. The author is Simone Brenneman, and she is in our studio with us today. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me come today.
A BC author as well, so she's born and bred BC.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes.
Well, thanks again for coming in. Now, effervescence is well, you have 2 children who've been touched by autism, but it's primarily about your daughter, is it?
It is my daughter Genevieve. I have another book actually that's coming out in a few months that focuses more on my son, but this is on my daughter Genevieve, and her story it's a complex but very fascinating, beautiful story.
How did you first notice that something was different about Genevieve? You had 2 children before her already.
Yeah, she was this effervescent, sparkling, beautiful little child, but we started to notice that she was distancing herself from us, like she would parallel us. She didn't really understand how to communicate with us, and it was becoming more and more apparent where we could see that we were actually losing her, where she didn't want to be near us and would be so much in her own world, to the point sometimes she would spin around in circles and either screaming or making little, tika 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 sounds, things like that.
Right.
And we knew something was very different.
What age was this?
By the time she's about a year and a half to certainly by the age of 3, it was very clear, where I remember one day looking at her going, we're losing her, and we needed to find a way to bring her back.
Did you know right away that it was autism, or how long did it take you to get to that point?
I wouldn't have had a clue. I had studied it briefly in university, but this was so different, and because she was absolutely captivating, and when she wasn't screaming, she had this way of just fascinating everybody around us, and so it was really hard to know if something was wrong when she was just captivating.
So one of the things that I found interesting in how you and Genevieve's father dealt with this had to do with the Disney movie Fantasia, which I'm sure everyone saw as a child and probably scratched their heads as kids going, what is that about? But it touched a chord in your family.
It did. Ironically, at the time, I'd never seen the movie, but I spent so much time just watching Genevieve and taking notes and studying her and watching how she played, watching how she responded to us, and it just came from me. And I thought, we need to put up like a barrier between her and us, something that would make the world like an animated place. So that's exactly what we would do. Instead of saying, Genevieve, go get your shoes, I would just say, shoes, where are you? And she somehow felt safe in doing that, because then she was not working directly with me. She was talking to these inanimate objects. And for her, having autism, those inanimate objects were every bit as precious and meaningful as were, little animal figurines and things like that. But they were safer. And so by working through that, we could spend time with her, and we could let her know that we weren't asking her to really step into our world. We were just saying, we just want to be a little bit of a part of your world.
Part of her world.
Of her world, yeah.
That's what you'd mentioned to me before the New News Hour started, when we first met, about an hour ago, that it's not about changing children or people with autism.
It's about evolving.
It's about us evolving.
Us evolving and helping them to evolve, to bring out, I think, what's natural in them, to find out what it is about them that attracts people to them, and working on their strengths. And then, yeah, of course, there's behaviors that need to be modified, or skills that need to be taught to them. Their bodies work differently than ours do. Their sensory systems do, and so they need assistance with that. But one of the things that has just been at the core of my family's work is to still keep who she is intact. And just keep building and building and building on that.
Right. You're not looking for a cure. You're looking to
I've never ever thought of we need for her to be cured or her to be recovered. We just want her to evolve and continue being better able to be out and about in the world, better able to let people know who she is. She's an artist, she's a writer, she does amazing work.
And she's an adult now.
She is. She's 21 years old. She's fascinating. She is the bravest person I've ever known.
And this is a question I asked you in our commercial break. Would I, as a layperson, not knowing your daughter, if I were to meet her and not know anything about her, would I recognize any signs? Would I know anything about
Probably
this?
not. Unless you happen to see her maybe in a store where for some reason, you know, she was having difficulty and got confused or whatever. If you were to meet her, she would likely make really good eye contact with you. She would be able to, you know, certainly communicate with you and go about doing her thing. That's been one of the mystifying things, is she is absolutely brilliant at covering up how challenged she is. Because she's so determined. But, you know, when she got home after seeing you, that's when we would probably see, oh yeah, that was tough for her to be out and about and talking with you.
But I love the story in Effervescence about when you and your husband told her that she had autism, and she stood up in class and proudly proclaimed, "I have autism." To her class. That was wonderful. It's a really, really interesting read, and I think it'll be inspirational for parents of children with autism. Thanks for coming in, Simone.
Thank you so much.
The book is called Effervescence, a true life tale of autism and of courage, and it is by Simone Brenneman.